Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Thursday, so we are here with Robin Shimizu and friends with our happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu. How you doing, Robin? I see your guest is in the frame. And I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I just want to say hi to Fran, who's out and about helping people stream under these adverse conditions. So she's really on assignment, and she does real estate. So we want to wish her much success in her real estate business while she's out showing houses and helping connect people with new homes. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others Miss Robin Shimizu, who's here every Thursday to help us form happy, healthy habits. Robin is a dear friend, and she has a wonderful product, which I hope we'll have time for her to tell us a little bit about during the course of the show that will help us with our health. In addition to that, we're going to be talking to her guest, and I'm going to turn this over to Robin as soon as I tell you that I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing just fine, and thank you, Terry, and thank you, Jill, for joining us this morning. Just love Biz Chicks. It's just such a great platform to get our message out, and every Thursday we get to talk about wellness, and that's just so awesome for our business. Today we have Jill Weston. She is our yoga nidra instructor. She comes to us from Elk Grove. She has a studio there where she teaches yoga and meditation, and she opens it up for the community as well. And she's been doing a lot of online classes, which has been really, really wonderful for me. So I've been taking a lot of her meditation and online yoga nidra classes. In fact, I'm going to be in the park with you, Jill.
Yes.
This coming, the 28th, I think it is.
Yes, the last Sunday of the month.
Yeah, so that's going to be super fun. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to have Jill introduce herself a little bit more than I just did, and then we're going to get right into it. We're going to have a great morning with Jill, our yoga nidra instructor and friend.
Thank you so much, Robin and Terry. Welcome to everybody who is watching live and also on the replay. If you're watching on the replay and you have any questions or comments, I will come back and check in with you. So today we're going to, I'll share what we're going to talk about, and then I'll come back and do more of an introduction. Today, because it is Healthy Habits Thursday, I wanted to talk about seeking support. And I have a little acronym of AIA. So today we'll talk about seeking support for your habits, AIA. And welcome, Jerry. My name is Jill Weston, and as Robin said, I have a yoga studio out of Elk Grove, California, near Sacramento. And my business Breathing Space is formulated and designed around the idea of helping people calm their chaos. And the business is about 7 years old, so today we're definitely in the midst of chaotic times, disruptive times, times for us to question, figure things out. There's a lot on our minds which affects our bodies. But I created the name Breathing Space out of a want for people to literally have breathing space. And the premise is when you have your breath, when you can go back to your breath, basically your mind, your body will be a little bit clearer. So again, the business was created some time ago in a little less chaotic time. However, in the work that I've always done, there's always an opportunity for chaos. We can always find it if we look for it. And having habits, number one, is helpful. And having healthy habits is even more helpful, especially during this time. Welcome, Jill Bernard. Good to see you online. So again, today we will talk about asking for support, seeking support with the acronym AIA. And that is admitting that you need support, identifying the support that you need, the who and the what. And then the last A stands for accepting. Accepting the help that's offered. And that can be a person that's helping you. It can be accepting the information. It can be literally feeling like it's in your regimen. It actually becomes a part of that habit. So AIA will walk through each of those steps, and then I'm going to offer a short meditation to help you kind of identify how to seek support and to figure out one area right now that you will and need support on. So when we think about habits, and those of you online or on the replay, you can type in any habits that you do have. Think of habits as things that you regularly do. And it can be conscious, it can be subconscious, it can be inadvertent. So we were talking at the beginning of the show, Terry has a habit, she'll get up early in the morning and she walks. And that's a pretty routine activity for her. I have more of a habit of sleeping in the mornings because that's something that just for me, it's good, but I will have a habit of trying to move my body. So a habit could be something that relates to your diet, something that relates to movement. You may have a habit around finances. So you could have a family history or maybe it's a big change in your life that you've had that maybe you spend money in a certain way or you save money in a certain way. That could be a habit that you pull out cash or a habit that you pull out your credit card. Other habits could be the way you learn. So some people have a habit, especially during this time where we're primarily sheltering in place. Do you have a habit that you read a book, that you watch Biz Chicks every day to learn? So any behavior, any thoughts even that you have on the regular, subconsciously or consciously, is something that I would tend to refer to as a habit. I have a habit, for example, if I have a favorite necklace, so I have a habit of putting that necklace on every day, almost without thought. So habits in and of themselves are fine. The idea is, and the name of this show is, you want to have a healthy habit. So if you're willing to, and you're understanding all of this, type some information. Those of you who are watching live or on the replay, give me some idea of some of the habits that you either have now or habits that you've had in your lifetime. And they don't all have to be positive, because sometimes we have habits that we need to break. Today, we're going to end up talking about supportive habits. And again, habits could be diet, movement. Do you have certain sleep patterns? Habits of wearing certain clothes, maybe, that make you feel good. A habit of reading, listening to a podcast. Oh, Robin says going to bed too late is a habit. Okay. And with the word that she threw in there, too late, my guess is that's a habit that maybe Robin wants to change or break, that she's seen that that's not good for her. The other habit that we have, and I deal a lot helping people with their emotions, is sometimes there's an emotion that becomes a habit. So someone says something that you don't understand. You might have a habit of just going, oh, okay, because somewhere in your life you've been hesitant to say, I don't understand that. Could you repeat that? You could have other habits of emotions, maybe in your childhood or in relationships, anything from not feeling like you had the right to speak up, maybe feeling very vulnerable. So it could be a habit in conversations or in communications that you feel very emotional. That could come out as tears. It could come out as anger. So again, understanding what those habits are. And there's a couple comments of habit of having a good cup of tea. And again, that's probably soothing to the body. It may be even automatic in times of stress. Another post of the habit of keeping silent. And again, that's not always good for your body when your body and your mind is actually saying, hey, I want to be noticed. I want to be heard. I want to be validated. So great comments. All right. So the idea again is it's important to admit, the first A is admit that you have a habit that maybe is either healthy or not healthy for you, and admitting that you want support with that. Robin says she's been practicing positivity, watching what she says and what she thinks. Excellent. So let's say that is a habit that you want more support with, to see either the more positive aspects or just to practice those. And positivity doesn't have to mean that you're bypassing what's in front of you. It can simply be coming back to ease in your body, coming back to clarity, being able to see both sides of a situation, and then choosing how you feel. As I mentioned with emotions, sometimes they can kind of hijack us, and we find ourselves going, I don't even know what's going on. I don't really know how I want to think or feel. It's this flood of emotions, and we act out of them without always understanding what we're doing. So that could be the habit that you want to reinforce, that you want help with, is that you want a better understanding of your emotions. And I don't like to use the word necessarily controlling your emotions, because that goes back to maybe feeling that you have to be quiet, or you don't have the right to respect that, or that you just have to be happy about your emotions. So the meditation that we'll do, we'll talk a little bit about clarifying, what's the habit? How do you want support with it? And then the final A is accepting that help. So again, what I want you to do now is think a little bit more about certain habits that you have that you need support on right now in these times. It could be support for your business, because this is Biz Chicks, and what the Biz Chicks teach is to go to the front of your own line. So think about habits that you would like to have, that you would like to reinforce, that would support you in business, that support you physically, or support you emotionally. Okay. So with that, I'm going to start you into that meditation. And this is a part of kind of admitting, looking at, acknowledging the support that you do want. And this will be a very easy meditation. You don't have to have practiced it all before. And it's a little more of a focused meditation than what I normally do for relaxation. And just feel free to follow along. Anything that doesn't feel good, you don't have to do. So starting out, just feel yourself sitting wherever you are. You might be in your car, you might be at home. Just literally feel the chair, feel the ground supporting you if that's where you're sitting. If your back is against the chair, you might feel your shoulders in contact. When you are ready, take an inhale in through your nose. Loosen your jaw, and then let that breath out. Take an inhale in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Loosen your jaw and let that breath out through your nose or your mouth for 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and repeat that 4 cycles of breath on your own. In through the nose and out through the mouth if that's comfortable. Repeat 2 more cycles if that's comfortable for you. 4 breaths. Just feel yourself settling into your body. And you're just going to bring your attention from your breath to my voice. And imagine that you have a notebook or writing paper, it can be a chalkboard or a dry erase board in front of you. Just something to write on. Imagine seeing something to write on. And list 3 habits that you acknowledge or admit and that you identify that you need some support on. 3 habits where you would like support or you know that you need some support. And as you notice or think of those 3 habits, don't attach any concerns. Don't think too much about what you're going to do with the habits, if it's right or wrong. Just identify the 3 habits. Then when you're ready, let's do another round of 4 breaths in and 4 breaths out, still focusing on the habits. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue for 2 more rounds on your own. Just letting the breath in, releasing the breath when you're ready. Now, as you settle in, now see if you can focus on just one of those habits that you acknowledge and you identify that you would like support on. As you identify that one habit, release your jaw, drop your shoulders down, release your jaw, and drop your shoulders down as you pick that one habit that you admit that you'd like some help with it, some support. As you keep your attention on that thought, release your jaw, release your shoulders. And maybe as you're staying focused on this one habit that you want support on, you start to sense that there's someone that you might choose to help you. There may be a little inner dialogue of how or what you need help specifically with. Go ahead and see that. Release your jaw and drop your shoulders down. Maybe even lift the corners of your mouth a little bit as you imagine having help with this habit. Imagine a person who would be your best support to help you. And as you imagine them supporting you, it feels comfortable, feels stable, feels appropriate to ask for that help. And then see yourself accepting the help. There's no old stories getting in the way. You might see yourself smiling a little bit bigger, reaching your hands out for that help, seeing yourself be more successful with a habit that was hard for you. And if your mind is in the way, if there's conversation in the way, see if you can just imagine, see the person who would be your best support. And if you can go further, imagine yourself accepting that help. And it actually feels good in your body. Release the jaw. Release the shoulders. And you clearly see yourself 100% clear on the one habit where you would like support, and you see yourself accepting that help. And see how that feels in your body. Or if you're a thinker, it may be a thought, but see if you can, see how it feels in your body. You've been willing to seek the support. You know what that habit is that you want support on. And you see yourself accepting that support from a specific person. And when you're ready, take another inhale in through your nose. Let that breath go. This time we're going to speed the breath up just a tiny bit to come out of the meditation. Take an inhale in, then let that breath go. Take an inhale in, let the breath go. One more inhale in, and let it all out. When you're ready, you can start to move your fingers, move your toes. Bring the shoulders all the way up to your ears if you can reach that gently. Then drop the shoulders back down. And when you're ready, slowly start to open your eyes, take in your surroundings. Coming back to my voice one more time. And you may not want to come back because maybe that sensation of asking for help, I'm looking at Terry, feels good in your body. Maybe a sense of all over well-being. And also maybe that sense of asking for support and seeing that person there to help you felt comforting or calming. And you're like, no, I don't want to come back to the real world. I don't want to come back to Biz Chicks. You can stay where you are if you want to. And then let me know in the chat if there's any questions or comments, any reactions, and most importantly, if there was anything that you didn't understand. Again, the idea was to slow down the outside world, to stop your own mind from thinking so much about your habits and support, and to go a little deeper within and pick one habit that you want to admit that you want help with. You could identify what it was, the habit, and then accepting help from somebody. Questions or comments?
I just want to say I never really thought about calming myself before asking for help. I always thought that asking for the help would calm me down.
And both can be true.
As opposed to calming myself before I make the request. You know, making sure I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Because it's so difficult for me to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to helping others.
Mm-hmm. And the idea with this is, what I'm presenting today, I always say that there's little stories within stories or processes within processes. Mm-hmm. So it's really the bigger view of when we can self-regulate ourselves, we can know our emotions. We don't have to cut them off. When we can know our emotions and we know our thoughts, we know more of what we're doing. So when we go to ask for help, sometimes it's out of that franticness of, you've seen me sometimes come up, oh my God, my speakers aren't working. Oh my gosh, Firefox won't, like what? And when I'm like, stop. So what I've learned to do in these times, especially because I do have tech challenges, I will sit and I center myself and I actually tell myself, this is easy. This is good. You can do it and you can ask for help.
Yes.
And then it works. So that's an example of more of a tech challenge, but even, with emotions, I have a difficult time asking for help. And I find that I'm more apt to ask for help when I've settled myself,
Mhm.
and I have resolved in my own mind that I'm even asking for help and that I need to. So yes, Terry, that I'm glad you said that, because both are good. If you calm and center yourself beforehand, you actually know what you need. Sometimes I'm around people and they are constantly asking for help, but it's the same help over and over. And I sometimes say the same thing over and over that I think will help them. And I think there's so much in their emotion that it's almost a habit. It's the habit to ask for help, but there's not a habit to receive because they're so wound up.
Ah,
They're not listening.
And maybe not able to fully. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely encourage, especially with, asking for what you want and need, settle yourself and know what it is first and reconcile it within yourself. Otherwise it's not what I would call a pure or authentic conversation. You don't mean it not to be, but I'm asking you for something that I'm not even sure what I want. That's why I started with we talked about the different types of habits you might have, and then identify what it is, not just, oh, I need some help with some habits. Again, if you ask me, I don't know what that means, versus this is something that would help me be a better person, be a better business person. This is a habit I want to increase. This is specifically how I want help.
What I thought was really powerful for me was the visualization of seeing that person who's going to help. And I was concentrating on my sleep patterns, which is I just want to do one more thing, before I go to bed. And so my husband, Fred, was so good. About 9:30, he'd go upstairs and he'd go to bed. He had this routine, and he was always asleep by 10:30 because he got himself settled. And he's the one that's going to help me. He's going to help me just be more disciplined and just settle myself down every night. And I'm just going to follow his habit, which is
good.
He was really good at that. It's like, good night, honey. And then off he go.
Yeah. No matter what, he would go.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to visualize him helping me just settle down and saying to me, okay, now let's settle down. Let's go to bed. Let's go to sleep.
Yeah. And not one more thing. That one more thing, more than likely will wait until the morning. I mean, Robin, you're a very efficient person. So letting that one more or two more things wait until the morning isn't going to change. Having the habit of going to sleep early will probably create more energy for yourself.
Yeah.
Brenda has a comment here. She says, funny tech challenge. I have no phone till the 19th.
Oh, no.
I was supposed to have already spent 4 hours yesterday with company. I have a virtual event and computer doesn't hold charge. Today, calmer. I got an old tablet I forgot about.
Okay.
Because once she calmed herself down, are you saying, Brenda, then you remembered you had the tablet?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I have a little Post-it note on my refrigerator that says it's right in front of you, because with tech challenges, I can wind myself up and I'm like, this isn't working. And then usually, sometimes I'll even write a note for how to help myself with the tech challenge. Like I have a note right here of, for notifications. I'm on a new MacBook Pro. I was getting notification beeps during a Zoom session. I was like, everything's on silent. Like, what's going? Well, I didn't know you can scroll up and there's a do not disturb, but you have to turn it on every time. Like I can't. So I have a little note here: mute on entry, mute the phone. I was setting up for a session. I'm like, I can't. I know there's a couple things I'm supposed to do. Again, I'm pretty calm. It wasn't like I was frantic, but I was like, I know there's something I'm supposed to do. I have the note written right in front of me for a reason, but I didn't look down at it. I was looking at my table. I was like, Jill, stop. You set up a habit. You set up a system. I sat myself down. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, look, Here it is, my little note right where I put it to help me. So sometimes my help is right in front of me. And so I have a note on my refrigerator of it's right in front of you, which means slow down. The answer is usually right there. Follow the answer.
I like
Then I'll also share real quick. I was sharing to Tara-Lene, and then we can take more questions. I have a friend that we've been doing some healthy habits together. So she's very busy, has a lot of people that depend on her, and she's a realtor, single mom of a young one, starting to homeschool. So what we've agreed to do, and she's much busier than I am. We don't need to pick up the phone and talk to each other and say, "You're taking care of yourself. What are you doing? Oh my God!" So we have agreed. I'll get a picture of her child, for example, playing, taking a walk, doing something. They're doing something together. That's her prompt to me that she is doing self-care, and she's doing her habit of no phone for a while, no clients for a while. She's not signing any escrow papers. She is with her child and she's calm. I have a favorite chair that I've discovered. The sun comes in my window at a certain time and I love to sit in the chair. I send her a picture of the chair. So in these last 3 weeks, we've created a healthier habit and accountability. Like she's kind of my support system to say, "Hey, there's a picture of my chair. I sat there this morning." Because without it, I might look at the chair and say, "Oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that later." And then I look over at the chair and the sun is gone. It doesn't feel as good to sit there. So she and I have created this system about checking in, and she's kind of my support for my morning self-care. And then I'm the same for her.
I like that. I like the fact that it is. It doesn't require a phone call.
Nope.
It doesn't require. You know what I mean? But yet I know that there's someone there who cares, and it's also holding me accountable. I'm being a support for them also. I like the way you decided to do that.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah.
That's a great meditation, Jill. That's a really nice one because it really walks you through how to potentially get some resolution or some movement toward that habit that you want to create by having somebody help you and visualizing that person helping you. That was really seems simple, but not intuitive for me.
Right.
I would never thought of it.
It was just great.
Good.
Yeah.
So again, admit, identify, and accept. And you can change those words if you want to. I just made those up because AIA kind of sounded curious. The main thing, whatever you call it, try to do it. Try to make that happen for yourself.
AIA, that's great. Well, we created a new acronym. AIA.
I know BizChicks likes the acronyms, and you always have good stories that are helpful to remember. So that's something that you've taught me. So I thought, why not AIA?
Because it's easy to, you have to have something that people can wrap their minds around that will trigger what it is you want them to think about. And so I like that. AIA, I can remember that.
Because it's really true. You can't change a habit till you admit it.
Yeah.
Until you acknowledge it. Yeah.
And then identify what the problem is. But the thing I loved about this meditation was the visualization part, like you said, Robin, because then I had to visualize who would that person be?
Yeah.
What would they look like? And then how do they look actually helping the way I want to be helped?
So what was your habit and who was your person?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
My habit was, as a result of all of this, people changed my schedule and I stopped doing the lives for my clothing company.
Oh.
And so I was saying, I need to go back to doing that. But before the wonderfulness that's going on now, I had someone helping me and they would come physically and help me with this. So now the whole idea of the schedule changed and the schedule got circumvented by other things. And then not having someone to help me in that space. So that's what they would look like. They would, help me. And because I have the capability to do it remotely, they can help me from wherever they are. So,
and you could have Zooms with us.
mm-hmm.
That would be fun, and you can show us what you have. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I guess I could. I just hadn't really thought about it because I didn't go to the front of my own line, Jill.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what this is all about, is remembering and coming back to it. If we were all at the front of our own lines, in some ways we wouldn't be talking to each other. I mean, Biz Chicks was created to help people out. If you were way at the front of your line all the time, you probably wouldn't be doing this. And, we're human beings in a human body. We're not perfect all the time. We're not calm all the time. We don't know the right answer all the time. It's always, I don't mean work as in, oh, it's a lot of work. I call it the work. It's our work in our human bodies to have these aha moments, to notice when we're in, to notice when we're out, all of it.
Wow.
So don't drop your head down about you're just like, oh, I just realized I wasn't at the head of my own line. Not,
because I say it every day.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Go to the front
but
of
you're telling us.
Yes.
Like, one thing I would recommend, sit in quietness, sit in prayer, meditation, and tell yourself that.
Okay.
There's always been, many of you, again, live or on the replay, I think it started, I don't know, maybe in the 70s, of look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. And some people are like, oh, that's ridiculous. We probably say it all the time to other people.
We do.
There's another activity of, whether it's in meditation, prayer, just being grateful, make a list of all the things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And when the person does the activity, and I've done it as well, you let people go, and they're like, I'm grateful for this, and my dog, and blah, 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 and my family and friends. And then the question is, where are you on that list? Why are you not grateful for yourself first? Why can you not look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you?
Wow.
Why do we schedule time for other people?
Everything
I blocked off all of my July schedule, put a big X over it, and wrote rest even before all this wonderfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be very careful. I'm starting to put things back on the calendar.
You see?
Now, what I told myself is, because of this time, I've had more rest and downtime, so I'm willing. Mm-hmm. But when someone calls and they want something, I'm like, I'm very gentle, like I really want to do it. And I'm like, but one day a week, I could X that day out. And no one, there's times where no one has to have something on a particular day from me. But I say yes very often. Mm-hmm. I'm much more balanced about it now, though it's not with regrets. But yeah, we're quick to say, I love you, to support other people, to do whatever it is that they need. So tonight, Robin, for example, was it 10 o'clock that Fred would head for bed?
9:30.
9:30. So if I call Robin at 9:34, she should not answer the phone, even though it's me. Because if I need something,
yes,
and I call 5 times, then yeah, maybe even though it's 9:34 and she has this new habit, or I'm sorry, 9:24, she has this new habit. But that's her habit now. That's something that's going to make her better, that's going to make her go to the head of the line, that's going to fill her cup to fill for others. So that may be a line in the sand for Robin, that no matter what, at 9:29, she's headed upstairs for bed, and the rest will wait.
Mm-hmm. And you know who wants to have a 30-minute conversation when you see their name on the screen. Jill has a comment here. Can you see that, Robin?
Yes. Yeah. Waking up at the same time each day, exercising in one form or another at same time each day, starting work at the same time each day. Yeah.
Okay. And then she says this.
Oh, Louise Hay, that says, thank you, Jill. I'd forgotten. Yeah. Yeah. So Jill B's comment, about the habit of wake up at the same time, exercising, starting work. The body does like repetition. The body likes a schedule. All our schedules don't have to be the same, but our bodies, and I'm not like I can't give the scientific data, but we have a circadian rhythm, like we have a rhythm in our body. Our organs even do things at certain times of the day. So that's why it's important for us to sleep well. There are certain things that our liver and our kidneys doing at a certain time. Your mind, your brain recognizes and likes that schedule. It likes to know what's going to go on. Otherwise, we're in that state of, well, wait, why am I working out at this time? Why am I I'm waking up and it's the middle of the night and it's dark. So Jill Bernard's comment is really important. Of having a schedule can be a very, very healthy habit.
Okay. Wow.
And that's all I have, unless there's more questions.
I don't see any questions in the chat. Guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat, and Jill says she'll come back and review them. Meanwhile, we want you to know that you can reach Jill where?
On Facebook at Breathing, so on Facebook, look for Breathing Space in Elk Grove. On Instagram, it's Breathing Space Elk Grove. And then my website, I'm sorry, on this venue, I can't type in the comments, but when I get off, I'll type.
We'll get it
www.ourbreathingspace.com. And I do have classes on Zoom. I'll be doing a small event in the park, pre-registration required because of COVID. I'm not opening back up just yet. I can fit about 7 people in the studio by those practices, but I'm a little hesitant just yet. So I'm going to be offering more classes throughout the rest of June on Zoom.
Okay, I have a question. Jill, I'm going to copy this website address while I'm talking, and you can't do 2 things at once.
It's okay. Just the www.ourbreathingspace.
Have you started a subscription service yet where people can come into your classes on a subscription basis?
I haven't. What I still choose to do is just a class at a time so that it's not overwhelming. You just pay as you go. I am still working on the recordings and the recordings so that you have 24/7 access to full yoga nidra and meditations. That's still in the works. We've done some of the recordings, but hit a little bit of a glitch. That will be on that I'm going to do quarterly. So you only pull out your credit card once, but you have access for 3 months to all of the recordings, and 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. You choose the meditations that you want. You choose the yoga nidra, and that will be on a quarterly system so that you don't even have to worry about like a monthly auto pay. Just go for 3 months, and then I'll be putting up new meditations.
Sounds like a wonderful experience, an opportunity, guys, to calm our chaos.
And I started doing too, kind of inadvertently, I've started doing custom recordings. I've had a couple of people who said, hey, can I just have a 10-minute for in the car at work? I put out one for healthcare workers because of the mask situation and the stress. So I also do custom recordings for people.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing more from Jill in the future. Jill, you're always a blessing when you come.
Thank you.
Robin, did you have something else you want to share? Because you always have wonderful guests. That's why we're always excited to see you, Robin. It's like,
I know. I have so many friends. Next week we have Cesar Figueroa who'll be joining us. And he's also a yoga nidra instructor.
Yes,
and and he's a health coach, and so that'll be really fun. We'll see what Caesar. Usually, he has something more physical for us to practice and stuff. So it'll be fun to see him on the show. It's been a month or 2 since we've seen him last, so that'll be good.
Does it mean I need to get in a bigger space?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just have him. We'll
play it by ear, ladies.
We'll play it by ear. Thank you, Jill, so much. You're always welcome. Such a blessing. I think the stress thing, the calmness thing that you provide for us is so, because that's kind of my thing. I really want people to reduce their stress to improve their health and their longevity. And so this is always so welcome. And I was so excited because she said she was going to do a little short meditation. So I got my I got my diffuser out, and I'm like all excited that Jill's going to be on the show. So anyway, thank you, Jill.
You're
We
welcome.
really appreciate you.
Thank you. This is so needed. I just want to say that tomorrow's Friday. So, on Friday we talk tech and English. So don't be scared. Come on over and get some tips on doing business in this wonderful environment. And we look forward to seeing you when we will be talking tech and English tomorrow at 8 on Biz Chicks. Also, I want to say I keep wanting to remind myself to join Biz Chicks, text Biz to 33777 and join the tribe. We'd love to have you if you haven't already done so. In addition to that, if you are in the Biz Chicks group, remember that is the place where we want to find out what you're doing, how we can help. Just, let us know what's going on. Okay. Other than that, I want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.